The history of Microsoft Windows. Welcome to Windows 1.0. Plus is introduced the graphical user interface GUI for IBM PCs. Featured icons, introduced mouse. Like from Windows 1.0 is limited memory support, making difficult to run demanding application. The next is Windows 2.0. Plus from Windows 2.0 is improved graphical interface with overlapping windows, enhanced memory management, allowing for larger and more complex applications. And lag from Windows 2.0 is still lag for support, networking, and live sharing. Limited support for color graphic. And next, Windows 3.0. Plus from Windows 3.0 is introduced a 32-bit architecture, significantly improving performance, enhanced multitasking capabilities with preemptive multitasking. And like from Windows 3.0 is you create a powerful computer to run smoothly, still like support for networking and file sharing. Next from Windows 95. Plus from Windows 95 is introduced a new user interface with the start menu and taskbar. Like from Windows 95 is prone to instability and crash, limited support for hardware and software compatibility. Plus from Windows 95 is introduced a new user interface with the start menu and taskbar. Integrated support for the internet in working. Welcome to Windows 98. Plus from Windows 98 is improved multimedia support with DirectX 5.0, enhanced internet connectivity with Internet Explorer 4.0. Like from Windows 98 is still prone to instability and crashes, limited support for hardware and software. Welcome to Windows ME. Plus from Windows ME is introduced new feature like System Restore and Window Movie Maker, enhanced multimedia support with DirectX 7.0. Like from Windows ME, still prone to instability and crashes, limited support for hardware and software compatibility. Next, Windows 2000. Plus from Windows 2000 is introduced a new, more stable and secure operating system for business and enterprise use. Featured a 32-bit architecture and preemptive multitasking. And like from Windows 2000 is complex to install and configure, not compatible with Windows 6 application. Next to Windows XP. Plus from Windows XP is introduced a new, more user-friendly interface with a simplified start menu and taskbar, improved stability and performance over Windows 2000. Next, like for Windows XP is not as secure as later version of Windows, limited support for hardware and software. Next, Windows Vista. Plus from Windows Vista is introduced a new, more visually appealing interface with hourglass effect. Like from Windows Vista is poor performance on older hardware, complex to use for some users, not as stable and later version of Windows. And the next is Windows 7. Plus from Windows 7 is introduced a new, more user-friendly interface with a simplified start menu and taskbar. And like from Windows 7 is unfamiliar interface for many users, not as stable as later version of Windows, limited support for hardware and software. Next to Windows 7 is plus from Windows 7 is introduced a new touch-friendly interface with the start screen, enhanced security feature with Windows Defender, a simplified start menu and taskbar. And like from Windows 7 is unfamiliar interface for many users, not as stable as later version of Windows, limited support for hardware and software. Next to Windows 7 is plus from Windows 7 is introduced a new touch-friendly interface with the start screen, enhanced security feature with Windows Defender. Minus from Windows 7 is unfamiliar interface for many interests, not as stable as later version of Windows, limited support for hardware and software compatibility. Next to Windows 10. Plus from Windows 10 is introduced a new, more user-friendly interface with a designed start menu and taskbar, and change security feature with Windows Defender. Like from Windows 10 is not as stable as later version of Windows, limited support for hardware and software compatibility. Next to Windows 11. Plus from Windows 11 is introduced a new, more visually appealing interface with rounded corners and center taskbar, enhanced security feature with Windows Defender. Minus from Windows 11 is not as stable as later version of Windows, limited support for hardware and software compatibility. Next to Windows 2 Insider Preview. Introduced new feature like a redesigned start menu and